The Church of England has been in a great deal of trouble over the last few years. They have a rapid decline of attendance, with the average Church of England only having 33 people attending and zero, I say zero, kids. And for some churches in the Church of England, that is probably a good thing. Within the last year or so, they claim that they got sexual purity wrong, and now they're affirming LGBTQ identities and sexualities. Let's give them a listen.
I'm really pleased it's changing for my, gay friends. I'm really pleased. And no, it's not enough for some, and I'm really sorry it's not enough. We've spent so much time listening and working with people across a whole range of diversities. It has brought us to a new knowledge and a new place of humility before God, before church, before the world, where we can say, yes, we got it wrong. And we're not saying, by the way, we think we've got it right now, but we are saying this is a good place to be. And I wasn't expecting to get emotional.
Yes, they claim that God got sexual purity wrong. They've also got into paying out reparations to people of color and anyone involved in slavery in England. £100 million. Let's hear what they're going to do with that money here.
I hope that this will inspire other institutions and other organisations who have been involved in a similar history, like the Church of England, to recognise that they have to look at a right and the wrongs. And when I mean by right and the wrongs, I don't mean the same right and the wrongs that's used a lot by the Windsor scandal. I mean right and the wrongs, which is a biblical expression, but also it's an expression of reparation, repair, and restorative justice. And this is, I have to say, is a journey for the Church of England, but maybe it's also a journey for this country as well, to look at the past, to heal. And we haven't done enough conversations around healing. I hope this will be start that journey and start that process.
This is not about allocating, I think Nigel just said, a sum of money to a group of people and then saying that you've done your job, you're gone.
It's essential that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past by deciding for ourselves how we should deploy these funds. The recommendations from the Oversight Group were informed by people from communities in England and all over the world.
What we would hope through this fund is to invest in companies from those communities to help them grow, to help them develop, and to help build up their communities.
But their latest gaffe is they want to get rid of the word church altogether in their churches. Because maybe it's not the politically correct thing to do. I don't know. But let's listen to this description of what's going on as they describe an article by The Telegraph.
The Church of England is dropping the word church to be more modern, according to an article just published in The Telegraph. The Church of England is increasingly dropping the word church in favor of relevant and modern-sounding descriptions, such as community, a new study suggests. Well, what's the problem with saying community instead of church? As Michael Knowles explains, words exist so that we might discriminate one thing from another. Is church the new Merry Christmas? Do we need to dilute everything in language so it's less specific and more inclusive?
Now, the Church of England has since then come out and disagreed with that Telegraph article, but what they've done is clear. In their new church plants, and I'm actually surprised that they actually are doing new church plants, they're not using the word church in any of those new churches. This is a bad idea for several reasons. First, because this is just more solidifying their wokeness. The word church is not politically correct, so they want to avoid it to be more inclusive. But next, we should use the word church because that's the same word that the Bible uses to describe Christians gathering together for the glory of Christ. Note in the Bible, the word church never refers to actually a physical building. When you hear church, you think you're going to a building. The church is not a building, but it's a group of people saved by the grace of Christ who gather together for worship, prayer, preaching, celebrating the Lord's Supper, celebrating baptism, exercising church discipline, and using your spiritual gifts as a Christian in the body of Christ. One of the greatest passages that speaks about the church is Matthew 16, verses 16 to 18. Now remember that Jesus has just asked them, who do people say that I am? And then Jesus asked the disciples, who do you say I am? And Simon Peter responds, verse 16 of Matthew 16, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered him, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. The most important truth that we should get from the Matthew 16, verses 16 to 18, is that Christ builds his church. He will not build it off of woke theology or woke theology, but he'll build it on the preaching of the lordship of Jesus Christ. And Christ is the head of the church that we read in Colossians 1:18. Therefore, the church must be guided by Christ and his word, not by the winds and all the fads that are going on in our wicked and evil culture. Christ will build his church because he's the head of the church. Thanks for watching, and God bless.